MAGA Stooge Scott Jennings was called out to his face last night on CNN, and it ended with him raising his voice in such a way that to me is just completely unprofessional. And the thing they were arguing about was the fact that Donald Trump said this about people who protest Tesla.
And he backed me, and he went, and he got very much involved. He thought he actually would go around saying, if Trump doesn't win, our country is over.
But do you consider this an act of domestic terrorism?
I think so.
Why?
I think that if and when they catch the people, and I hope they do, the good thing is they have a lot of cameras in those places, and they've caught some already having to do with that. I think that you will find out that they're paid by people that are very highly political on the left.
Meanwhile, it's because...
So he thinks that protesting Tesla is an act of domestic terrorism. And of course, this is the hypocrisy, is that he then also pardoned 1,500 January 6th criminals, rioters, terrorists, insurrectionists. But if people are protesting Tesla, that's a step too far. Well, Nero Tandon, who was in the White House with Biden and Obama, pointed out to Scott Jennings, and it was electric here. It is.
Terrorism, people ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson.
So when they do it to a Tesla dealership, it's really bad. But when they do it to the halls of Congress, we should pardon them. Is that your position?
No, I've never. I don't
Are you okay with the January 6th pardons?
I know you haven't been around for a while, so let me educate you about my position about January the 6th.
I'm so sorry.
Let me educate you.
No, you don't need to patronize
you don't need to.
me.
You don't need to be condescending to me. So let me educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let's do this January 6th and then Nero.
I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Stop, guys.
So here's the issue. I didn't support what happened on January the 6th and was one of the first Republicans to call it out. I don't support the pardons. I have repeatedly, just like my friend Ashley here, said that no violence in our political system is acceptable. But this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic terroristic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want? The treatment of this guy is outrageous. These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of. That's my point.
Anyone who commits violence against Tesla or Congress or anyone else should be put in jail, 1,000%. But that should not stifle dissent or opposition from Elon Musk.
Give it a little lip service. Give it a little both sides. Go ahead.
We're so both sides here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to say that people are legitimately upset. They are legitimately upset at Elon Musk, and they're doing it on their own, but there is no reason to have violence in the country. But I just wish all of us would support criticism of, or would support punishing people who are violent wherever they are.
For what I understand, the Teslas will fall apart if you just leave them alone anyway.
Yeah.
There's nothing really anybody really needs to do about it. Just drive them enough. Eventually, the things will start to just fall off the side. From what I've read, allegedly.
Man Scott Jennings is a little baby. The right says that women are too emotional to lead. This is when you are too emotional to lead. Not that Scott Jennings is a leader, but it seems to me that men are the ones who are more in their feelings than women. In moments like this, let's just watch this incredible moment one more time.
It's outrageous. It is terrorism. People ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson.
So when they do it to a Tesla dealership, it's really bad. But when they do it to the halls of Congress, we should pardon them. Is that your position?
No, I've never. I don't support.
Are you okay with the January 6th pardons?
I know you haven't been around for a while, so let me educate you about my position about January the 6th.
I'm so sorry.
Let me educate you.
No, you don't need to patronize
you don't need to. You don't need to be condescending to me. So let me educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let's do this January 6th and then Nero.
I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Stop, guys.
So
incredibly condescending. Incredibly condescending. I know you haven't been around her for a while. I'm sure she's either just got a contract or maybe he's getting one soon. She's a woman, you know, in a male-dominated industry. This is how he treats her.
Let me educate you.
No, you don't need to.
You don't need to be condescending to me. So let me educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let's do this January 6th and then Nero.
I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Stop, guys.
So
And then he raises his voice, and to me, if you are in a professional setting and you're raising your voice, you're losing. And if you're raising your voice like that in a professional setting, you should be really rethinking the way that you talk to people. And Narratandon then went online later that night and said, "Tonight, Scott Jennings chided me for not being aware he criticized the January 6th pardons. Turns out I didn't hear about it because he didn't do it. Judge for yourself if this is criticism or rationalization, and it's in the same network we are on tonight."
In shock, well, Republicans are in awe.
What about with the pardons? What's your take on that?
Here's what I think. Were these people punished? Yes. Were they ruined financially? Yes. Did they spend time in jail? Yes. Have their lives been ruined? Absolutely. And one of you said earlier, Van or Axe, that you think this sends a terrible signal that you can get away with things like this, as though we've never had a moment in recent American history when people were not punished for rampaging around when they shouldn't have been. It was the summer of 2020. And these people were actually punished. Those people were never even charged.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, what Scott said, there is not someone who is really outspoken about the January 6th. Pardon this, by the way, is probably one of the most offensive things that has happened in our country, and it is so funny to me that people on the right are upset that Americans are choosing to not buy a Tesla and are getting mad because it has consequences in the free and fair market. But they won't get upset when Donald Trump lies about an election that was never stolen, that he lost fair and square, and that because of those lies, we had one of the most upsetting and damaging days in our democracy prior to Trump getting reelected. Now, democracy is continually being damaged by Donald Trump. But I say, let's keep hitting him where it hurts. It's obviously hurting him, and I just want to say this isn't sponsored or anything like that. But I just want to say Polestar, who is a subset of Volvo, wants to deliver the final blow to Tesla. And they said that Polestar is now offering anyone who owns or leases a Tesla $5,000 off a lease on a brand new Polestar 3, combined with their latest $15,000 Polestar clean vehicle. Incentive: any Tesla driver can now buy a Polestar 3 for a whopping $20,000 off. So companies smell blood in the water. Obviously, it's not going to be going up for Tesla or Musk. So yeah, Tesla is dying. Good, Scott Jennings can continue to defend it. Americans can continue to protest, which is our constitutional right. And Tesla can keep dropping because that's what the free and fair market is dictating.